Hi. Woo. Oh, you know what I forgot? I'll be right back.
Good idea was time. It was 2 o'clock.
What's her name? Bet she's a handful. Yep. She just has that look.
Oh, no, I got that. Alright, we'll give them another few minutes. I know, like, other guys can pretty well. Actually, let's go ahead and just start with introductions. I'm Steve. What I'd like to do is go around one by one, get everybody's name, their dog's name, and their age. 2 things you really like, and 2 things you're trying to change. Make sense? If you're in the sun and you want to move your chairs, go for it. Alright.
Well, I was just noticing how pasty my legs were today, Drew, so I thought, okay, sun's all right. I really did. What happens with my golden and
Alright, let's start with you guys.
So, my name is Eve. So, it sounds like Eve. And then she's Olive. So, she's a sweet girl, but she's kind of has her own energy. And then we got too excited to see other people.
How old did you say she was?
6 months.
6 months. What do you say you like about her? Everybody?
Yeah, she's so excited about that. Because she's too excited. Took me a minute.
Is there another second? Okay. You guys?
Hi, I'm Christina. This is my husband, Moss. And this is Gavin. And I guess he's about 10 months. We got him 3 weeks ago with his sister.
And you didn't bring the sister?
No.
Okay.
You suggested I take Nikki down.
Oh, yeah.
That we train us separately.
Oh, I should have canceled because I saw you had 2 slots. I want to register for 2 slots.
Oh, that was just my computer being difficult. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
because it was like, anyway, that was a computer glitch, sorry. Anyway, no, we have basically we have long story short, through a series of family things, we ended up with 7 dogs, no fault of our own, 7 dogs, and since then, we just through old age have been losing them one by one, and we are now down to one of the original 7. In the past, since Christmas, we've lost 2. Yeah. Yeah, it's very sad. So we now have 3 older dogs. 2 of them are rescues. One is the last remaining of our original 7 dogs. And so we lost, last month we lost one of our 16-year-olds. And we're looking for another dog to fill the hole. And Gavin and Gigi came up for adoption. We have a source. And we didn't want to separate them. So we ended up getting 2 for the price of 1. They're wonderful. They are. This is Gavin. They're wonderful. They brought life back to the house. We were really afraid that we were going to lose our last old dog because he was grieving. He was very bonded with the other, the one that we lost. And he was just interested in life again. And they're both very bright, very smart. We've already taught them a lot. Very trainable. It's been a real transition from them because they are great trainers. So Liz had a lot to learn. They're doing really good. Socializing very well with the old dog. We're babysitting our grandson, my stepson and girlfriend are the dogs. So
I'm sorry, hold on 1 second. Let's put here. He's going to be reacting. He's very, very scared. Just like when you grow up and stuff like that?
React sometimes fearfully.
Sorry. Rebecca, go ahead and start doing she's real treat motivated. He's real treat motivated. Go ahead and start doing the auto check-in. If that doesn't work, just start showing them. Okay.
So we want to make sure that he's well socialized, that we have a well trained, so we have those responses well under control, because we don't want to have, he's small, so even if he does some aggression, it's not going to be a problem like it would be with the big dogs. We have had aggressive big dogs, but we don't want it to become a real issue because he has had, kind of responses.
I'll ask probably a lot more questions about that.
She is really friendly and always excited around people she knows. Some of her behaviors I'd like to change are jumping because she's just not the greatest, especially when there's kids or anything around. And she knows how to sit and stay, but she chooses not to if there's other motivations. And then I like the dog park and things like that. When I take her off the leash, she knows when to come, but again, it's like I'll tell her, and then she'll look at me and then decide whether or not she actually wants to come. So,
What dog park?
well, we just moved here, so
So you haven't.
we haven't really been to any dog parks around here because
That's not really. Dog parks. How long have you had?
she's 2 years old.
2 years old. You have a puppy.
Yeah, from when she was 6 weeks.
So the main thing is just getting her attention, like.
Getting her to listen and respond better because she knows the things she's supposed to do, and when she's one-on-one with me, she'll do it. But when there's distraction or anything like that.
This is Ann. I'm Sarah. And this is Rita.
Rada.
He's 3 months old, so we're really enjoying all the puppy stuff, and he does well. Off the leash, meeting new dogs, and his behavior, like at the dog park or in unfamiliar situations, maybe not in our house, but off the leash, he does pretty well. But on the leash, I'd like to work on that behavior. And right now, the biting, the puppy nipping is, a thing. But mostly just socialization and manners. That's what we're looking for.
What dog parks?
Onion Creek.
And he's doing it right there.
I have another friend. He's been one since we've had him about a month, and I'm taking him one. But and to restaurants, so we're starting to socialize.
That's great.
But it does better off the leash.
Yeah, I mean, I think that those hikes are so valuable. I'm much more a fan of hikes and enclosed dog parks. Because we only talk about it a lot, but probably not today. So that's Diesel. I'm going to do your introduction for you. That's Diesel. It's Tian. Tian? And I can't remember your name. I always forget. What is it? Sharon? Okay. So, I went to their house, did it private with Diesel. Diesel has some dental needs because they're only 5 months old. Trying to socialize there. Can you hear me over there? Okay, good. So, in general, there's almost always at least half the group that have the same issue. And that is, I'll hear this a lot. They know how to sit, they know how to do down, but they only do it when they want to, they only do it at home, they only do it, in certain situations. That's one of the things that we're really going to focus on, is how to get your dog to do things in various environments. The main thing that you have to keep in your mind, right, is no higher thinking animal that I know of will do things if they're not motivated to do them in some way. Okay? So that means, we're all motivated by the same stuff. We're motivated by things we like getting things that we like. We're motivated by avoiding things that we don't like and are afraid of, or that kind of stuff. The serious stuff. We're going to focus on the stuff. We're not going to worry about that stuff. We're not trying to scare the dogs into doing things. We're not trying to hurt the dogs into doing things. We are going to try to use things that they like and taking away things that they like, right? So what are a couple things that dogs like? Toys, treats. What else? Attention, right? That's your issue, right? With the jumping. Attention. I think that was what you said, right? Or just jumping for food.
She has a problem with jumping, just
Okay.
in general.
So what do you do with toys? Or what do they do with toys? They play, yeah. So play itself is a motivation. Chasing is a motivation, right? So we're gonna try and use all this stuff, everything that motivates, and every dog is different. The one thing you really have to get in your head is you can't decide what the dog likes, right? So it's the same as a salary. If you think about it as a salary, and all of us probably have different salaries. If somebody offered us a job, it would take more or less, depending on who we are and what, and our circumstances, to motivate us to do that job, right? So every dog is different. We're gonna focus on food today, because food tends to be the easiest to use and the easiest to get multiple, to keep them interested. And it tends to be the one that's easiest to sort of fade away as well. At least for the dogs. For the people, sometimes it's not as easy. So, there are various levels of value as far as food's concerned, right? So, he doesn't have water. Let me make sure you get water. Alex, go get this. You guys need water too, right? So there's various levels. And it's just like, if you think about it as currency in a way. $5, I'm probably not going to do a whole lot for $5, but if you tell me to sit on my couch for an hour a night, I'd probably do it for $5. Why not? Right? But you ask me to do something a little bit more challenging, I'm probably going to want higher value. At the same time, let's say if you said $1,000 to me, I'd definitely sit on the couch, right? But then let's say, all right, I'm going to give you $1,000 sitting on the couch. Tomorrow, you have the choice of either getting $1,000 sitting on the couch or going and working for 8 hours. I'm probably going to just sit on the couch again. Does that make sense? So I'm basically devaluing that $1,000 because I would have done it for $5, right? So if I offer $1,000 for a job that they would have done for $5, I'm devaluing that currency, right? So what we want to do is find that sort of sweet spot in any situation that the dog is happy to work for. Not just okay, but just sort of yeah, I'll do it. Happy to work for, preferably without going over, without overpaying. But I would rather you overpay than underpay, because if you overpay, you risk devaluing. If you underpay, they just won't learn well. That sweet spot, I call it the golden treat. And remind me, everybody that hasn't gotten, I think none of you have gotten folders from me yet, so I have folders for you with some documents in it. All right, so what we're going to do, the first exercise, is we're going to find the golden treat in this environment. It's going to change. So at home, it's just like I said, at home, kibble is probably your lowest value treat, right? It's probably the lowest value. It's like $5. So they might be able to work for kibble. The kibble's probably not going to work here. Some dogs it does. Other dogs not so much. On the other end of the spectrum is the really high value, the $1,000 food, which is chicken, freeze-dried liver, cheese, that kind of hot dog. And then you've got like your sort of middle range. Just consider the stinkier, the wetter, the grosser generally. The grosser we think it is, the better they think it is, it seems. This is kind of more mid-range. So these are called Zooks, and they're nice, small treats. And this is probably the middle. Did anybody bring treats today? Nope. It's okay. No? Yes. What do you have? Chicken? Okay. So you brought high value. Awesome. Did you guys bring treats today? Kibble. Okay. So they brought very low value. You guys?
We were on a little train.
What kind?
They're a little bacon.
So those are probably like a bit lower than that is, but he seems like he likes some plenty. So to find the lowest value treat, we're going to start. I don't think I have kibble. We'll start with these dry treats. And what you're going to do. What you're going to do is you'll break these up if you're using this level. We're going to use the lowest value that we have. And this is what it'll look like if they're probably willing to work for it, okay? So first thing I'm going to do is see if it's sort of a test to see how interested they are in this food. And I recommend, what's that?
It looks like 3 of them are interested.
Yeah. I recommend that you do this anywhere your dog, you have your dog in a way. So you try it at home. See what they're willing to work for their kibble. Let them work for their kibble when you're training. At the yard, see what they're willing to work for. When you take them out on a walk, what do you need? That way you always know what you need to do to get your dog under control in a given environment. Because, let's say, without being able to, if you can't motivate them in an environment, it's going to be very difficult to train them through anything. First time you go to an environment, you might have to be using tons of food. But the idea is that you don't train them there. Okay, so I've taken a big handful here. All I'm going to do is put it on his nose, and look how I have the treat. It's like this, so he can lick it, but he can't get it out. See that? And this is basically like the Kong is, sort of with an opening here. And I don't know if you can see. So all I'm going to do is put it on the nose like this, count to 5, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi. Good. And if he stays on it, he gets just a little nibble of it. So do you think he was interested enough in that food? Yes. Let's try. Is she scared of people? He's not. Okay. So, let's see here. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Is he interested? No. So, in your case, I would up you. You're going to try level up. All right. So, raise your hands if you need some of this stuff. Some of this dry food. I think you guys probably do. Now, even if they are happy to take it here, you might find once we start challenging a little more, then they're like, oh, it's too hard. But this is the idea, is that you then work your way up rather than starting at chicken when you don't need to, because you want to have that leverage. You want to have that $1,000 in where you really need it. What's that?
I was buying treats, and I was like, which one should I buy? The medium range one. I saw the really nice ones that were like strips of chicken, and I was like, maybe not today.
Well, yeah. And the best thing to do is, and because they'll also get bored sometimes. It's like, I love pizza and I love ice cream, but I'll get full on pizza. But you bring the ice cream out and I'll have some more. So sometimes just even lateral moves. So I recommend like bringing 3 different kinds. I'll usually have some too. But it's usually good to bring a couple different kinds because it's a long class. And as we get more challenging and they get more tired and stuff, it usually helps to switch it up a little bit. I mean, sometimes you can even downgrade because it's just new. You're already not going to take that. Everybody's got.
He has those jerky, the buffalo jerky strips that I usually use.
I bet if he's taking cheese, he's probably not going to want this. Try it. You know what to do, yeah? All right, so everybody go ahead and see. And if within 5 seconds, if they've looked away, let me know, and I will give you something better. Okay. Oh, I need to give you something better.
At home, that would work fine, but this is
Yeah. Nope.
No, not enough.
Hands, you're a little blood.
Yeah. This guy will eat anything. Let's put rocks in our hand.
Well, a lot of times, bigger dogs. I'm surprised the beagle is. But, no.
Maybe some of these bacon treats will help.
We're gonna go real hardcore.
What kind of bacon treats? Now you got my attention.
might work on my husband, won't work on the dog.
And it's not uncommon for the first day or two where they won't take anything. But usually by the second, third class, they're taking stuff easily. It's just getting over the nerves. And it could be because he's separated from his buddy.
Yeah.
Try that. It's just chicken. No. Can I see? You are so insane. Well, it's got to be 5 seconds. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 3. Awesome. No. All right, so now I want you to hold on to that, and every once in a while, I want you to just toss one down. Sometimes just wet it, like a lot of times you'll take one, and then suddenly it's like, oh, it's like, get them over it, sort of. A lot, when you're really nervous, it's hard to be hungry.
Yeah.
It's the same way with people. When you're really nervous, you tend to not be like, oh, I'm starving. Especially if you're scared, right? It's like the last thing you're thinking about if you're trying to escape a burning building is the pizza you left in the fridge. Hey, Rebecca, can I have some of that cheese? Some bologna. Try a little cheese, too.
I'm old enough for bacon.
Yeah, bacon. Somebody brought bacon. You can't bring bacon. Don't bring bacon because it's too greasy. And it could hurt. It could cause country.
I'm gonna share it with the dog.
I'm teaching like 4th and 5th graders right now, and the other day I had to use cheese, and it was so hard not to get them to eat the cheese, like the cheese cube. They were like, "Can I have one?" No, kids, you get in trouble. What are you here? An allergy. Okay, so we found. Everybody confident they found their golden treat? I mean, I know you guys do.
Yeah.
It's all right. You have time. Just every now and then, just kind of remind them. Liverwurst tends to be like the best. I have one woman who made. She would boil chicken hearts with blue cheese.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
Yeah, she said it really stunk when she was cooking it. I got one more option here, which is bologna, like chicken bologna. All right, so when you're trying to do sit down, all that stuff that they already know, good. Let me know once he probably will by the end start taking some. Okay, so you want to get sit, you want to get down, all that stuff. You want to get attention right outside. That's what it comes down to. It's attention. Usually when you get the dog's attention, if they know sitting down and all that stuff pretty well, that's usually the easy part. But it's getting the attention itself that's the hard part. It's also the part that everybody takes for granted. Everybody. I mean, people that take my class, they've been to class 6 times. I still have to remind them not to take it for granted. Don't take it for granted. What does that mean? It means at least acknowledge it, that they did something right. All right, so I'm going to show you a game that's it's called Hey Bartender. Hey Bartender is, I call it Hey Bartender because I think getting a dog's attention is very similar to going to a bar and trying to get the bartender's attention, right? If you go to a bar, you want a drink. What's going to happen if you order and you don't have the bartender's attention? Nothing. You're not going to get a drink. You got to get the bartender's attention. So, you know, most bartenders, the big difference is most bartenders have learned that once they get the attention, there's something to be done then. We got to teach them first that the attention itself is worthy of something. What's the best way? I should say it's the best way. What's a really good way to? Let's say it's a really crowded bar. It's hard to get the bartender's attention. What's a good way that you could maybe make sure that the bartender might come back quicker next time? Anybody got any ideas? Tip well, yes. So what we're going to do, this Hey Bartender exercise, it's basically getting attention and tipping well. The couple things. Do you ever find yourself going, Tilly? Want to stop that. Want to stop the repetition of the name. Because it will fail you. It fails. It's not the best way to get your dog's attention. It's good to have a backup. So we're going to work on having a backup. And teaching them. We're going to use the name, and then when they don't respond, which I'm sure some of those guys won't respond, then we'll use the backup sound. And good backup sounds are high pitched. The kissy noise, like I don't want to. Look, boom, boom, boom. Kissy noise is a good one. And then usually it's a third. I'll do the whole sequence for you. But the other thing is, as soon as that head turns, and this is the most important part. The treats are important, but the most important part is, as soon as that head turns, good. Make a big deal. Okay? Yes, good. You really want to start to teach them that good. When you are praising, when you're excited, it means something might come. So right now, every time something's it's gonna come for this exercise. But it's like if they're distracted, right, and you get their attention, and they don't have something telling them right away that it's worth paying attention to, they're gonna go right back to the other thing. So consider it like if you're at the slot machine, and those bells start ringing, but you're not gonna walk away, right? Because you've been conditioned to know that those bells ringing means that coins are going to come out at some point, and you're going to complain if it doesn't. So you got to get in the habit of giving them that feedback. Otherwise, it's going to take much longer for you to get rid of the food. All right, so this is the exercise. Let's try. Was Tilly taking that stuff? Okay. Let me do Tilly. So, I'm going to wait until she's not paying attention. And I'm going to make sure that the leash is loose. So if they're lunging forward, if it's like that, I'm going to just make sure that I loosen it. And then when it's loose and she's not paying attention, I'm going to say her name. But I want to really not pay attention. Tilly.
Good, very good. Oh, you're scared. I'm scared you. I'm sorry.
and I'm going to treat her for 5 seconds. That's important. That doesn't mean I'm giving her 5 treats. I think I'm giving her 3 here. And I could have probably gotten away with 2. But I crumble them up, make it last. Because if you're trying to get your attention, the dog's attention, if you just give 1 second treat, if you just treat for a second, it's back to the thing. This gives them a chance for their brains to shift into onto you. Let me try it with somebody that might be harder. Let's try. So I'm just gonna ignore them, and he'll probably pay attention to the dog. Try not to. It's hard sometimes to because you know they'll pull right when you say the name. You really want to try and make it so that you're not causing it to causing the head to turn because of the leash. I know. Back a little. Hands. Good. But that was an example where I kind of used the leash a little by. I kind of was forced to. Good. Good. Let me do. Do you still have any treats?
Yeah.
Or if you could just grab me that bag. That's good actually. Yeah. So hands. So he didn't do. I did it purposely a little low. I'm gonna wait 5 seconds, give him a chance to respond. If he doesn't, hey. Good. Very good. You'll start to make the name more reliable. It's almost like if you're disciplined about this and you do the name, and let's say half the time they don't respond, but every time that they don't respond, you follow it up with that sound. They'll start to associate the name with that sound, so you'll kind of get more. They'll start to respond to the name itself more. But again, even then, the name will fail you. So it's really good to have these backups that they're used to. So. Very good. So cute. All right. So everybody, go ahead and try that, and let's put. So you're gonna stand up. Probably walk around a bit, but then stop and do it, okay? If you're having a lot of problems with pulling, I'll come around. Remember, and I should be able to hear you, with that, especially with the second sound.
Hands.
Good. And make sure, don't forget, as soon as the head turns, good. Oh no, we're good. Good. He's scared of you too. He's got it. He's taking it. It's okay. You can walk around. You walk around a bit, and then let him sniff. They usually will distract him again. 5 seconds. Don't forget. So, and that's fine because he's not taking food. But I just want to it's a good lesson, right? Because how valuable was that phrase at that point? Worth 2 seconds before he was like, all right, I'm going back to the thing. And that's all you can use right now. So, well, and it will be here too. I would consider daycare a couple days a week. Only if you live near here, you can do it here though. So that's what I'm doing. It's pretty interesting. Once you've gotten a couple and you're pretty confident, you know, kind of. Yeah, nice and good. You're doing good. The only problem is, well, it's without the reward. It's like eventually, it's like, why should I bother? You know. So you want to make sure that what I would do is you practice this somewhere where you can do it, right? Like where you can take food. Do it a couple times. You take them on walks.
Yes.
And how does?
We have started taking them on, but we're still taking both of them. But he tended to overwhelm his sister and kind of drag her along, and I thought, so I started to take them separately, and it's been more difficult. I mean, it's been the same thing. They're not as brave apart as they are together. So we had just started that when the weather kind of threw everything into a tizzy, and so we really haven't done that much. And so it was very exciting. I mean, the great outdoors is like something entirely new.
Yeah, well, that's good. I mean, it sounds like you're doing good with it.
Oh, it's doing great. I mean,
Have you tried different food out there?
we haven't gotten that far. We were just. He's fine with other dogs. I mean, like I said, right now we got some dogs again, and it was very exciting. And of course, everybody, but they were all getting along. Their industry is actually kind of fun.
Try bringing food on your next walk and see if they'll take it.
Okay.
And what you should do with this is on your next walk for the week, you know, during the week, you should bring out a couple of different varieties of food. Stop on a couple of corners on your walk. Just try to get the attention. Just stand there, say the name, you know, do this whole routine, this Hey Bartender game. In the beginning of every class, it's the first way we're going to start, is just by doing a couple of attention-getting games. Don't overdo it. I'm very big on quality repetitions rather than quantity, right? Because it's the same sort of reasoning as using the value of food. If I do 1,000 of these when there's barely any distraction, I spoil it for when there is a bit more distraction. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about how to make things more difficult for the dogs, but the main thing is, you know, try and really be, you know, is there a bird over there? That might be a bit harder. Is there a cat? That might be a lot harder, you know. So try and, you could tell when they're sort of fixated on something. And you want to gradually go there rather than try and jump from easy to that. Okay. One of the most common things, so sometimes I get people who've done like a class somewhere else, or they've done training on their own, or even with another trainer, whatever. Look at you just want to play now. And it's like they plateau. They'll tell me, oh yeah, you can do down when I have a treat in my hand. They can do this only when I have a treat in my hand, or only when like they can do it down only when I lure it all the way. I am very, 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 very big on making progress, like constantly improving the behavior. Again, I believe quality repetitions. I don't need to. So, if you teach math, what's the first equation you're going to teach? Probably 1 + 1, right? Or 2 + 2. If every behavior has that level, there's always a very easy 1 + 1 basic level of a skill that you're trying to teach. There's, you know, that basic. Now, if I had a kid here and I said, and I asked him what 1 + 1 is, and he said 2, and I asked him again, he said 2, and I asked him again, and he said 2, can I assume he knows it? Probably. Does that mean I can ask him like long division? No, I got to teach him now 3 + 3, the steps, right? I gotta go through the sequence. People either get stuck asking 1 + 1 a zillion times, so the dog doesn't improve, or they go from 1 + 1 to calculus, and it's like the dog's like, what? So we're gonna try and basically we're gonna do an exercise teaching down, like the lay down. Whose dog has already learned that to some extent? Good. Anybody else? Lay down. Just sits. He sits, but not lays. You're probably. Did he take the food? Oh, that's weird. He's probably not going to get that down today until we can. But you can watch and sort of learn the technique. Nobody else then. Nobody. We did. Did we do that? We did a little bit, right? The other day, maybe. Okay. So 1 + 1 of the down skill is I'm basically going to take a lure. What that means is food in the hand, just the same way where I let him kind of sniff it and even lick it a little bit. I'm going to put him in a sit. I don't even really teach sit in this class because most dogs kind of know it, and I just feel like it's a waste. But if you're trying to get a sit and they're not sitting, make sure you're doing a hand signal for it, right? So it's hands, or luring it, which is treat on the nose that way. You kind of go up towards the eyes. You'll see when I example. But you're going to lure the head down, and when they get both elbows on the ground, you're going to good, and treat at that point, right? That's 1 + 1. That's the first basic level of the down behavior. The long division version, I'm purposely not saying calculus because we can make it harder than this eventually. But for now, what we want to get to is where I can sit down and give a hand signal, right? Like this. So we're trying to go, so our starting point here is trying to get them to go down with a lure, and step by step get up to the point where we can do this. You're not going to do that today for most of you, but the thing to think about is the thing I'm going to drill in your head is rule of 3, rule of 3, rule of 3. So I said before, right? If I ask the kid 3 times, I'm going to assume they know it. If I get the dog to do it 3 times in a row fairly easily, I'm not going to just repeat it. I'm going to make it a little bit harder. If they don't get it, I'm going to ask myself, well, did I make it too hard? Maybe they're just not ready. Whatever. I'll either try and make it a little bit easier, or I'll go back to the step they got easily, repeat that again, and then get it harder. I have a flow chart that you'll get for that. So let's try Tilly with she's not taking the mix. Oh, she's a little scared though. So sometimes when this dog is scared, it's a little bit hard to do this. Oh, good. So get the attention first. Good. I think she's going to be too scared. Let's see. I'm going to try different dogs. Let's try you. She's learned it. She knows that. Can I see it? Good. Don't forget that. Very good. That's good. I might not have anybody I can do a very basic one from. Let's see yours. Oh, Kelly.
Sit, stay, down.
So go ahead and just lower it. Put it right on his nose and go straight down. Try not to pull the hand backwards. Keep it straight. Good. That's basically your 1 + 1. Okay? So, for whoever's never done this before, go ahead and start trying to get to that level. For you guys, get 3 in a row like that. The next step from there would be empty hand, keep the treats behind your back, empty hand, but trying to fake them out. So, you pretend, sometimes I even just go like that. I got one of the kids in the class is really good about that. She's like, she tricks the dog all the time. For you, well, I'll come over to you and help you guys and see where we can, so no matter what, and this is why my class is the way it is. It's whatever level you're at, we're going to work at that level, so I'm not going to make them do the basic if they can do it almost, pretty much standing almost. Oops. Okay. Treats. Who needs treats? Still not taking. Sometimes a bigger piece will help. All right. Can I see your guys? You guys are down? Yeah. So do the hey bartender first. Attention. Very good. So get 3 of those, right? And then, and you might, you've been using cheese. This one. What's up? Okay, so we might change it to make it a little more exciting. But try and do 3 in a row. Then the 4th one, put the food in your other hand, but try and trick him to going down. Try and get 3 of those. Okay. It's very. That's the hardest part. No, there's 2 hard parts. This and then transition to the flat. So everybody go ahead and start practicing it. You guys.
Come on, man. 3 in a row, buddy.
So.
Good boy. Come here. Hands. 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 Hands.
If you can do that, try to do this. And so the way to do that is first you go like that, sit down.
Come on here.
Good boy.
Because what happens there is that so, since she's already pretty good at it, we can go advance.
Down.
Yeah, see, if you're, I don't really care right now. Right now, I worry about the rules. But, it's like,
Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. Can you sit? Hey. Can you sit? Down. 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 Hands, come on. Hands. Hands. Good hands. Good.
It's like,
Can you sit?
You'd rather
Sit.
learn the writing first, probably.
Down.
And then it's easier to learn.
Boy.
Good.
That was 3, right?
Yeah.
So now do it without treats in your hand.
Now I'm gonna take you out, hands. Come here. Come here. Come here. Can you sit?
Same for
Can you go down? Down. Good hands. Oh, I tricked you.
Sometimes it's easier on the blanket. If you're struggling, sometimes it's easier on the blanket.
There you go, buddy.
Golly, man.
Well, and, I mean,
Golly, man. It's gonna get yellow, baby.
usually it's easier to do loose sit, but not for all dogs.
Here. 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 Come here. Come here. Good boy. Good boy, kid. Down. I'm still working on it. Down. Good job.
No
The
treat.
temptation is to pull backwards, but they usually pull
Good
forward.
boy.
So it's better to push.
Down. I like it when I do that.
I'm going to give that to her.
Oh, good boy.
Practice this at home, and you'll get it quickly.
Now we're training because that's the harder thing. The dog will
Dog and I
do
both
it.
agreed that there was no bacon, so consequently there's
I'd like everybody to get. Sorry.
no bacon, so neither the dog nor I will probably respond.
I'd like everybody to get up one level today. So if you're just starting, just try and get it started. You guys got up a level, right?
Yeah, with no treat.
Excellent.
Good job.
So, awesome. The next step from there, once you've gotten them so that you're not getting, like when they're fooling them, then you're going to just try to not fool them, right? So, let me try it with him. What are you guys using?
He likes anything that may any treat is.
Yeah. I just don't want to overpay. Hey. Hands. Hands. Oh boy, good. So get the attention first. Boom. Trade. So you're gonna lay down right in that way. He might be excited that I'm doing it too, so go ahead and try one to see what happens with flat hands. And I almost kind of like fake that I have it here. But you're going to go all the way down just like you have been. Good boy. Doing good. And it's a long session for a tiny puppy too. Yeah.
That's what I thought, but I didn't know if I was right or wrong.
Down.
He's coming on third Tuesday?
Next Monday.
Next Monday. So he's going to be in daycare. Okay. Any questions about anything we did today? We do this. I would love to not give so much information the first day, but it's all stuff that's kind of important for class. If you decide to do the class, or if you're already signed up. The Hey Bartender, you know, that's the most important thing you can learn, I'd say, is just remembering to you know, just being really aware of.
Eventually, he'll be our
We have a trick book that has a thing, go get a beer from the fridge.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not teaching my dog to open the fridge for anything. Yeah, so
maybe we can get a mini fridge and I'll just have beers.
practice. Oh, now. There you go. See, it just takes a little time. Hey, it's better than waiting till next week.
No, I thought the orientation was at 3 o'clock, not 2 o'clock.
Now you decide.
So I would practice Hey Bartender on your walks, like I said, I would practice doing some downs at home on your walks, really thinking about, hey, what's he willing to work for in this situation? At home, you know, if they eat their food quickly, if they love their kibble, use their kibble. Why give it away for free? I mean, you don't have to use it all, but you can use part of it for training, and that way, you know, you go outside using the Zooks, like the medium grade treat might work, because it's always good to have something special you can use when there's a ton of dogs around, because that's the hardest, obviously, usually. Okay, and any questions about the stuff we did? So yeah, do the downs The downs I'm less concerned with, because if you take the class, you're going to do a ton of them. And a hay barn you're going to do a ton of too, but it's very difficult for people to remember to appreciate it when we're very goal oriented. We want to get to the end result. So we forget that they're living in that second, that moment, and it's like if you're playing basketball or something, and you gotta be in tune with each other. If you're gonna pass the ball, they gotta be paying attention. All right, so the class is 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. currently on Saturdays. That will probably switch as soon as it gets too hot for us to deal with 12 o'clock classes. We'll probably shift everything up earlier. They're long, they're an hour and a half, but there's usually, like, the way it works usually is we'll start with an exercise before the dogs get a chance to meet or anything. We'll teach something, we'll work on stuff. Then we do a few minutes of play, depending on the group. If I don't have a good mix, then we don't do it, but we always try to give them a little chance to play. And then the end, we usually will do obstacles, which they're basically, you'll have somebody will hold the dog on a 30-foot leash. That person is the ghost handler. That means they let the dog go wherever they want, just not go up to any other dogs. The owner has to get the dog to do a series of obstacles that I'll just throw at you. It'll be different somewhat different every week usually. And the goal that you've got to do is, what you're trying to do is, you're not allowed to touch the dog, you're not allowed to touch the leash, and for the most part, you're not allowed to lure. Like, you can't take food and do it. So we'll have, like, weaves and, like, jumping over things, and the idea behind it is, we want the dog to feel like they're off leash, and you're trying to get them to do stuff that they're not trained to do, right? Because if in real life you come across stuff and you got to figure out what to do, by teaching these skills to you and to the dog, you've got much better chance of getting them to do what you want them to do, because you've taught them to do these things and to react. You'll get a lot more of that in the class. The way it works is you'll get an email on Monday probably that has a sign-up sheet for classes. You basically go on there. It's not on my website, so you won't find it's only for it's a special link that you'll get. You can sign up for whatever classes you want. It's limited to 6 dogs per class, so there's always attention, enough people to get, not too many people that I can't give personal attention. If there has to be at least 2 people signed up for a class to take place. Does that make sense? So if only one person is signed up for a class, we usually just cancel it, unless sometimes circumstances change that, but whatever. Cancellations and stuff, you'll get this in an email, but if you're going to cancel a class, please try and do it 24 hours in advance. If it's raining or if it's a weather situation, you're always allowed to cancel no matter what time it is, or because I will do classes in the rain. Like today, I thought it might rain. I'll do classes in the rain, but I don't expect you guys to do that. If you're already signed up, you're good to go, I guess. Unless you have any questions about the logistics. If you haven't signed up, what you need to do is choose a plan from the website. All my plans are subscriptions, so you can either do like 2 a month, or you can buy 3 months and get 6 that you use anytime in the next 3 months. So you don't have to do 2 a month in that case, but you buy 6 in advance. You can also do combinations if you want to do like private sessions or day school. Private sessions are I come to your house and we work on specific things around the house, which, you know, if you have specific things around the house, that's probably a good thing. Here it's a lot more generalized, you know. Turn around when that happens. Good. Now turn back around. Good. Now, whatever she wants, give it to her. Good. So we teach her that she loses complete attention when she does that. If she holds it, she'll either get attention or treats or whatever she wants, as long as she's not jumping. Day school is you drop your dog off to play for like daycare 2 or 3 times a week, and then Rebecca and I work with the dog on basically anything that we're seeing that's a problem, and then all this stuff. So it's sort of like a intensive. It's kind of just a more intensive thing, but it goes kind of with the class. So I love that program because it's like we work with the dog, we start noticing things, you tell us what's happening, and then we kind of adjust. And so it's like it's cool to like you make a lot of progress really fast, and we can adjust. And that's why I stopped doing the boarding school because I hated it. It's like 2 weeks, and you don't get any sort of feedback from the people, and I just never felt like while I was doing it, if I don't get feedback, you're like, I want to know how this is going to translate at home and all that. So I stopped doing them altogether, which, you know, that's what a lot of people want. But I had to put my foot down. No more. I've been talking for 5 hours straight, so any questions I'm happy to answer. Otherwise, choose a plan. When you choose a plan, you can pay for it online. We're starting a new program, which you'll get an email about it this week. But basically, it's like reward points. I'm calling it Doug Rewards. So there's certain things you can do to earn the rewards, and then you can use those for credit towards future months and stuff. If you do your plan, I think I put in the email. If you decide on a plan and choose by Tuesday, then I'm gonna double the points that you get for that, for whatever plan it is. Just so you know. If you've already bought the plan, then you're gonna get those added anyway. That's it. I'll see if that filmed okay, and
I think we're good.
it's alright. If it filmed okay, I will try and